GoForThe2.com and with the Week 5 predictions. Again, apologies for the late video, but due to working on Monday nights, covering the Monday night games, the video will most likely be coming out Tuesday mornings or early afternoon. So I'll try to get it out as soon as possible. Going to be a very SEC-heavy slate. I'll rapid fire the picks. Going to go into deeper detail, obviously, on Carver and Lisi, and then throughout the week in regards to Sports Grid's coverage, also with college football today, this coming Saturday, 9 to 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll dive into it in deeper detail. I was on Florida State last week. They pushed me to the limit. The kid misses a field goal in regards to California that allows them to win that ball game by 5. Fernando Mendoza, and that offense were threatening, but Florida State's defense did step up. Offense still very inconsistent. DJU did make enough plays to win and cover that matchup. They now go on the road. Another conference game. SMU right now 3-1, but first conference game in regards to the ACC. Going to be a lit atmosphere in regards to that home field advantage for SMU. We saw the line open up 4.5. It's up to 5.5. Again, I know it's an ugly play, but I'm going to roll with Florida State. I still think they're the better offense and defensive lines. You have a finesse team in regards to SMU going up against hopefully a blue-collar team that got their first win and now carries it on the road running the football. I like Florida State to strike the upset plus the 5.5, but I think they win it outright and move to 2-3 overall. We saw Oklahoma State. I said Utah would step up. They did. We saw Isaac Wilson and that rushing attack with Bernard pound the rock on that front seven of Oklahoma State. We also saw Alan Bowman, critical interception that points shut down Ollie Gordon and that rushing attack. Now they take on Kansas State. You look at these matchups throughout the years. Oklahoma State has won 4 of the last 5. They won last year 29-21. Avery Johnson and that Kansas State offense completely knocked out in regards to Provo late night. In BYU, they get the punt return, multiple turnovers. Before you could blink, it was 31-3 in favor of BYU. They now come back home. I'm just not sold on Avery Johnson as a passer. He's a mobile quarterback. He can make plays with his legs, but trailing from behind in particular matchups, that's how you beat Kansas State. Even though I don't like Alan Bowman in regards to big picture, I think he's a better pocket passer than Avery Johnson. I do feel Ollie Gordon on the road gets back involved in regards to this lineup and offensive philosophy. I think Oklahoma State wins this game. Might be close early in the fourth quarter. I give the edge to Gundy and the Cowboys on the road catching 5.5 points. Give me Oklahoma State in regards to that matchup against Kansas State in Manhattan. Miss State catching 37.5 against Texas. Arch Manning and that offense are rolling. They beat up on UL Monroe. We know Manning lighting it up. Miss State hasn't faced Texas since 1999. That was the Cotton Bowl. Miss State did go back there in the early 90s when they had players like Michael Davis back in the day. Lost in regards to that matchup in early 1992. So we'll see how they fare. Blake Shapen and Miss State were able to run the football against Florida. Problem was they couldn't convert inside the goal line. Defense allowed Graham Mertz and that passing attack to take over. I think there's no doubt Texas wins, but I'm going to take the points in a bounce-back spot. 37.5 over 5 touchdowns. Conference game. Give me the blue-collar Miss State Bulldogs on the road in Austin to at least run the football, keep it close, and I'll take the 37.5 points with that matchup. Ole Miss and Kentucky. We know on paper Ole Miss is the better team. I get that, but you look at the last 3 meetings in regards to the series, they've been decided by a total of 7 points. Last time was a couple years ago with Will Levis. He had the strip sack that led to the victory for Ole Miss in Oxford. Now they're catching 17.5. They were live against Georgia. I think they're live again in regards to this matchup. 17.5. Give me the Wildcats in that ball game. UCF and Colorado. Colorado gets the upset over Baylor. And when you look at that matchup, it goes to overtime. I mean, Travis Hunter with another dynamic performance, Shador, and that defense made enough plays against Sawyer Robertson to pull out that victory in Boulder. Here's the difference. We know that it's a contrast in styles. UCF, most prolific rushing attack in college football, 375 rushing yards per game. They are averaging 6.8 yards per carry. They're going to run it and run it and run it and force Colorado to tackle, not just in regards to between the tackles, but out in space. That's where I give the edge to UCF. I think they're a sleeping giant, potentially a contender in the Big 12. Don't sleep on Gus Malzahn in regards to this matchup. It's a huge number. You want to take the points with Colorado. Physicality, for me, is where it's at. Give me UCF in regards to that matchup. Last two picks. Arkansas, really like the way they're playing right now in regards to Taylon Green and Jaquindon Jackson. They grinded out another victory on the road as a dog over Auburn. That's not an easy place to play. Not only that, but Auburn had won 8 of the last 9 in the series. So now they face off against Texas A&M. We know that Texas A&M has owned the series over the past decade, but I like the physicality of Sam Pittman. I like Arkansas's ability to run the football. And this team right now, disciplined, they're in each and every game. They're catching 3.5 points. The game's in Dallas, Arlington. Give me the Hogs, baby. I think they run it on the front 7 of Texas A&M. I'm just not sold on the balance of Texas A&M. Even though they're outscoring opponents, backup quarterback Reed has come in. I still give the edge to the Arkansas offense and Taylon Green. Last pick, big one, Georgia, Bama. Listen, it wouldn't shock me either way who wins this matchup, but I got to believe that Georgia in a bounce-back spot here. They're on the road laying 2.5 points. It's a tough place to play. We know about the dominance in Tuscaloosa, but I still give the edge to Kirby Smart over DeBoer. I give the edge in terms of just being able to come from behind. Beck over Milroe. That's not a knock on Milroe. I just think that Beck, in a big spot, I have a little bit more confidence that passing attack than I do Alabama right now. It's a short number, 2.5. Going to go right down to the wire, but give me the Bulldogs minus the 2.5. Your picks for week 5. We'll jump right into them. 7 picks right now in regards. Florida State plus the 5.5. Oak State plus the 5.5. Kentucky plus the 17.5. We also have Arkansas plus the 3.5. UCF minus the 14.5. I have Georgia minus the 2.5 and Miss State plus the 37.5. Rapid fire picks. Like I said, I'll break them all down throughout the week. Apologies again. Hit me up on Twitter. Have a great week, everyone. I'll see you this weekend.